All right, ladies and gentlemen, please assume your positions. So, my name is Ahmed Inani, and I am the president of the Southern California Biomedical Council, the organizer of this event. And the event will focus on the importance of biotech incubators in LA County. It's a showcase for some of these incubators and uh, would help you if you're a new entrepreneur looking for a facility to be in, save money. So you can get in touch with these incubators if you like the business proposition, and also like these incubators to collaborate and partner with each other instead of ripping on each other as we usually do in LA. Before we start, um, I want to bring your attention to the agenda that you have. We're going to start with a brief introduction and then 5 presentations by incubators. And after that, we're going to have a break for lunch. And after the lunch break, we're going to have 2 segments, one focused on the real estate situation in LA, whether it is getting better from the point of view of companies that are looking for real estate assets and to locate outside the incubators. And then we're going to end this session, this event, with a discussion about if you're a company looking to raise funding, how you can make yourself fundable. And I noticed that the majority of the attendees here represent either entrepreneurs starting companies or early stage companies. Some of you are located in incubators, others aren't. So the discussion is relevant to all of you. If you're going to take pictures and tweet, you can use the hashtag SoCalBio Inc. That way we have one place where you can access all the pictures and the tweets, and I encourage you to do that. Also, there are 2 pieces of collateral material on the table there that you should have gotten, and one of them is in relationship to our annual conference, which is coming up on September 28th. So we're starting the process of putting the pieces together. If you have a company, device, biotech, digital health, diagnostics, and you want to make a presentation during the conference, just send me an executive summary and we can schedule you for a company screening. And if you get selected, you'll have the opportunity, of course, to make a presentation during the event. The event, again, is on September 28th, and it is going to be at the Westin Hotel in Long Beach. And the second piece of material is in relationship to our annual Digital Health Conference, which is going to take place on November 9th at the Hotel Maya in Long Beach, and the focus is going to be on clinical grade wearables. And again, if you like the subject matter, of course. And again, if you like to make a presentation during the conference, contact me and we'll see how we can fit you in. For those of you, and many of you know who we are, but there are a number of faces here that are not familiar with SoCalBio. We are a nonprofit trade association, and we've been around for a couple of decades serving the life science community in Greater LA. And our membership, we have about 400 companies and organizations that support the council, and they come from the region that includes Santa Barbara, Ventura County, LA, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino. We have even some companies from outside the area, but the bulk of our membership come from the greater LA area that we serve. Our objective, like the 50 other life science associations around the country, is to promote the industry here and make sure that it stays and it grows, and the innovations generated at our research institutes from UCLA to Caltech research hospitals such as Cedars and City of Hope translate into companies, and companies would develop products, life-saving products. That's our mission and our objective. So we do what we can in order to help these companies. We spend most of our activities on business development. We have a very good group purchasing program that saves companies a lot of money. And you see some of the vendors outside. If you're using our VWR, I would guarantee you'll be saving 50% on your purchases of lab supplies and equipment. In addition to that, we act as a conduit for companies to access funding. We're engaged in talent development activities with our community colleges and the Cal State system. I would say, if put a number, 80% of our activities are focused on business development. So we're like a 911 operation for particularly emerging companies. In addition to that, we're in the business, again, like all the associations around the country that target the life sciences, creating a hospitable environment for the industry to exist and creating the partnerships that are needed for this to happen. And we do a lot of events, and this is one of them, in order to encourage all the stakeholders from universities, companies, and so on to network with each other, know each other, and partner. And finally, we do some advocacy where we don't spend a lot of time on it, simply because our memberships are focused on issues from fundraising, finding location, finding talent, more so than lobbying in Washington, D.C. But we do it in collaboration with organizations that we work with, and prominent one, and it is represented here by Mr. Fry. Where is he? He's back of the room. The Bioinnovation Organization. And we also work with AdvaMed and pharma on the advocacy front. Now, we will focus this session on why incubators. And I think this is the first time where we're trying to shed light on the importance of this institution. And simply because, believe it or not, 15 years ago, we didn't have any incubators targeting the life science industry in LA until the Pasadena Bio Collaborative was formed in 2004. And since then, other incubators popped up on the scene, such as Momentum Biosciences in Culver City. And right now we have 9 incubators in LA. I added, one in Ventura County, but because it's in Thousand Oaks, almost at the border, it's for all practical purposes, it's in LA. But there are other incubators in Orange County, in Riverside, in San Bernardino. And today we will feature one in Riverside, and that's Murrieta Genetics. This is a map that shows the bioscience companies that exist in our backyard. This is our constituency, composed of biotech companies, med device companies, diagnostics, and so on. We have about 1,000 companies in our area, employing about nearly 90,000 people. And the bulk of the industry is actually in LA, with over 400 companies, 40, give or take a couple of thousand, 40,000 people employed in the industry here. Orange County, of course, has a large population of device companies and comes second with about 350, 360 companies and about 35,000 employees in the industry. So we have a large cluster, although it is geographically dispersed all over the place, as you see there on the map. This is a large area. The biotech component of that cluster is actually very small by comparison, let's say, to the Bay Area or San Diego, Boston. We only have about 200 companies between Santa Barbara and San Clemente. And this is a map that shows the location of these companies. LA has about 100 of these, 102, 104 biotech companies, followed by Orange County with about 40, 56, and then Ventura County, 30, 31 companies. Just focusing on LA, these are the logos of the biotech therapeutics that exist in LA County, about 50 plus companies. Then you see the bulk of them are in oncology, and the second biggest group would be in drug delivery. And then we have smaller groups in immunotherapy, stem cell research, and then a scattering covering other areas. This is the population of diagnostics companies and companies engaged in developing scientific instruments, about 50 or so. A lot of people have been walking around saying LA doesn't have biotech, so that's my answer to them. We do have an industry here, and we have success stories that go way back, and some of the success stories a decade ago included Diagnostic Products Corporation, which got sold to Siemens for almost $2 billion, Abraxas that got sold to Celgene for $4 billion. One Lambda, and George Ayub sitting here led the company since its founding out of UCLA in 1984 until it got sold to Thermo Fisher for $1 billion 6 years ago. And we have many recent successes, including, of course, Kite got FDA approval for the first CAR T-cell drug, and then got bought by Gilead for $12 billion. Kythera, which was born actually through our investor conference in 2005, raised over $90 million in successful public offering and got FDA approval for their drug Kybella that dissolves unwanted fat tissues, and got sold to Allergan for $2 billion. That said, the bulk of the companies in LA are in early stage R&D, and half of them are in incubators. And that is why incubators are important in LA, because the potential engines of the future may be in these incubators. And the future development of the industry hinges on the ability of these incubators to perform their function and to take these companies to the next level and guide them to success. So that's why we have to help these incubators fulfill their mission. And this is the incubators that exist in LA County. We have about 9 of them. Alexandria Real Estate Equities is one in Pasadena. 3 miles away, you have the Pasadena Biocollaborative. Then in Monrovia, you get Lab Launch. In Culver City, you have Momentum Biosciences. Cal Poly Pomona in the Innovation Village has 2,000 square feet with a couple of companies as an incubator. Then you have Ventura Bioscience. I think Greg Kushon is here, and he may be making a presentation. He's sitting in the back. And LA Biomed, the newest incubator that got approved by LA County, the funding for it, about a couple of years ago, just starting, and they will make a presentation today. In addition to BATS Lab, not a lot of people know about BATS Lab. It's actually 10,000 square feet in Northridge with an animal facility where you can do preclinical work. And these incubators offer roughly 70,000 square feet. We know that because we asked each one of them how many of combined wet labs and offices. And there are about 55 plus companies incubated in these 9 incubators. So they are an important institution. If you want biotech to move forward, we have to make sure that these incubators fulfill their function. Today, we're going to hear a presentation from Magnify, which is here on the 5th floor. It's tied to UCLA and the Nanosystems Institute. That's where you're seated here. This got built with $300 million grant from the state of California to promote nanotech research. And the incubator has about 21 companies. And Mr. Benson will share with you information about the incubator, the tenants, and the terms of service. It will be followed by presentation by the Pasadena Bioscience Collaborative, then LA Biomed, and then Greg will talk about the Ventura Biocenter, and finally, you'll hear about Murrieta Genetics. I wanted Murrieta Genetics to participate, although it's outside LA County, because they have an interesting business model which is focusing on a certain vertical, which is genomics. That's what they want to specialize in. And I'm curious to hear from Jay and your colleagues here how you want to run it and what you're looking for. With that, I invite the incubators to come in and make their presentations. If you have any questions so far, okay, good. Yeah. I'm not going to introduce them. They will introduce themselves. They save time that way.
Thank you, Ahmed. So yeah, I am Brian Benson. I'm the Director for Entrepreneurship and Commercialization here at CNSI. And today I have the pleasure to tell you a little bit about our redesigned and rebranded incubator called Magnify. So as Ahmed mentioned, LA is a growing hub for startups and innovation, and that's kind of what we took into heart and mind as we rebuilt Magnify to really focus on accelerating the growth and success of early stage transformative technologies by providing affordable, high-end facilities, services, and expertise, all kind of in an incredible ecosystem for innovation and entrepreneurship here at CNSI. So CNSI, or the California Nanosystems Institute, is centrally located on campus here between School of Engineering, Life Science, and also the medical school. CNSI's almost 200,000 square foot building acts as a lightning rod, really, for innovation and entrepreneurship, with over 150 members representing north of 50% of all the startups coming out of UCLA. So one of the things that we did was spend a lot of time and effort in building and expanding our resources to better suit the needs of startups. And one of those areas, not only do we offer wet lab space and co-working space for our companies, but in addition to that, we offer access to in-house and private events, seminars, and networking opportunities. Mentorship, if there are any mentors out here, please let me know. We always need some more. We connect our companies with investors and strategic partners. One of the other benefits that we provide is group purchasing, which our companies then can leverage the steeply discounted prices that UCLA has negotiated, which is pretty beneficial. One of the most unique things I think we provide is our shared equipment resource. So our companies have access to 6 technology centers here at CNSI, which basically enable you to build, prototype, characterize, and measure almost anything. Those technology centers include a 10,000 square foot clean room, high throughput drug discovery program, as well as a variety of other advanced microscopes and imaging technologies. These technology centers are equipped with a little over $35 million of research tools, which is a great advantage for our companies who can leverage that resource at a steeply discounted rate of up to 80%. So it's a great opportunity to lower the capital efficiency for our companies and really focus on those key de-risking activities. So speaking of our portfolio companies, we have currently 21 companies in the incubator. We have space for more, so don't be shy. Our companies range from physical science to life science. About 80% of our portfolio resides in the life science space. In particular, for example, we have some of our therapeutics, which is Scarless. They're developing an advanced treatment to minimize scar as well as improve wound healing. And they're actually about to go into the phase 1 clinical trial, so they're relatively far along the development pipeline. And then our physical science side, we have Millibat, who's developing a 3D printed battery, which is on a millimeter scale and will last about 10 times longer than anything else on the market. So our companies really have been pretty successful in our incubator since 2014. Our companies have raised a little over $115 million. We've had some great successes in exit, as Ahmed mentioned. Kythera is one of those. To build really on this kind of platform of success, we've made some modifications to our eligibility criteria and really expanded our ability to support a broader range of companies. So we're able to support now companies outside of UCLA. So we're not just a UCLA incubator, we're an LA incubator. And with that, we've also modified our application process to really enable us to bring in about 4 to 6 new companies every quarter. So with this application process, to help us select companies, we've also built an advisory committee comprised of representatives from industry and the investment community, really with the domain expertise, not only to help us select companies, but also to advise and mentor them to achieve specific target outcomes. I want to just leave you with our team. Again, I'm Brian Benson. I'm the Director for Entrepreneurship and Commercialization here at CNSI. Our team is small. We act a lot like a startup, and we are really hands-on with our portfolio companies, really to help them achieve their goals and create successful ventures. So if you're interested, please feel free to contact me or our general email here, and I hope to see you all more. That's it.